you can spend your time focusing on thinking positively or self-regulating or pushing yourself to do things. If what you're doing doesn't come from a healthy self-esteem, you will always struggle. Your personality is already good enough. The problem is not who you are. The problem is how you perceive things. That's what needs to change. The core of who you are, your core authenticity, doesn't have to change. You will always be you. So in my life, I've always suffered from self-esteem issues. I've always struggled to value myself and to find a sense of worth. And in this video, I'm going to share to you my path and how I've been able to finally tap into it after many years of therapy, of spiritual practice, of inner work, of personal development. So I always struggled with self-esteem because I had a very difficult childhood, which prevented me from developing a healthy sense of self, a worthy sense of self. When you go through difficult events, difficult things, your tendency will be to devalue yourself, dismiss yourself. Also, if you go through neglect, which is quite common actually in families. And this is very hard to live in this way, and you might know it, right? Because it's blocking you from doing everything. When you talk to people, you feel like you're worthless. When you are on your own, you feel like you're worthless. When you do a new project, you feel like you're worthless. So that self-esteem, to me, is one of the main issues that we have after trauma, and it's one of the most difficult things to heal. And to me, I can say with a bit of emotions, because it is touching me deeply, I can say that it's when you really start tapping into it that you really change your life, that your life finally shifts. And you can spend your time focusing on, thinking positively or self-regulating or, pushing yourself to do things. If what you're doing doesn't come from a healthy self-esteem, you will always struggle. Because self-esteem has to be the foundation of our actions. It has to be the foundation of our thinking processes. It has to be the foundation of our relationships. And there are so many problems that arise in relationships, that arose in my relationships because of self-esteem, because of low self-esteem. So in my life, I went from the bottom of the bottom of the bottom, the lowest sense of self-esteem you can have, because I've been through so much. And I've been able to raise that self-esteem. And now life is so different. When you have self-esteem, the level of struggle, the level of worry reduces so much, because there's this kind of solid foundation that you can rely on to. So how did I find self-esteem? And that's the whole point, that's what you want to know. I found it by being able to meet myself with no lying whatsoever, with radical honesty and transparency. To meet myself, to be there as myself, and to stay there without judging it. I've been able to find self-esteem by giving myself the permission to be myself, without all the masks, all the lies I'm telling myself, and all the self-sabotage. So that's where the inner work comes in. The inner work doesn't come in order to improve yourself, because that implies that you don't have self-esteem. Of course, you're going to improve your humanity, the way you treat people and situations is important, right? But it's not to improve your personality, because your personality is already good enough. The problem is not who you are. The problem is how you perceive things. That's what needs to change. The core of who you are, your core authenticity, doesn't have to change. You will always be you. You see, so it's about that. It's about working from that place. You are already you. And the only reason why you have low self-esteem is because you have these patterns, these beliefs that being you is a problem. So you have to find why this arises and how is this blocking you. When you show your mind over time that being you is okay, that you can be you actually, that's all you need to do. You need to find and see for yourself that you can be you. That's what it is about. There's no tricks in this. There's no special technique that you will apply of positive thinking that will suddenly turn you into the best version of yourself. That's not how it works. It starts now. And that's the trick, and that's where I fell into the trap many times. I thought that the self-esteem was for later. That after much inner work, I will be able to finally feel self-esteem. But that's the opposite. The way to self-esteem is to be you now, right now. Give yourself the permission to be you. And maybe being you feels painful. But that's okay. That doesn't change your self-esteem. Because the pain doesn't mean that you're worthless. That's the meaning making that you put on the pain. The pain is here because of what you've been through, not because of like your core worth. So that's the realization to develop. That's the understanding to develop. You work from a place of being you already. And you just let go of your perceptions that are bullshit, that are preventing you from connecting with others and, sharing what you want to share, etc. But you start there where you are and you see, okay, the problem is not you, the problem is the thoughts that you have about you. So that's why when my clients come because they want to change their life, transform their life on a psychological level, emotional level, spiritual level, they come to me with this idea that they have to change who they are. And one of the first things we do is, okay, be here now as you, relax, and see that it's actually okay. You're still in relationship with me. You're still here. You're not dying. So it's also about individuating. It's about finding your own way in things and learning to listen to yourself, listen to your heart and what you're called to. Because as soon as you listen to the shoulds that come from the family, the friends, the society, you're tricking yourself in being another version of you. And as long as you're another version of you, you cannot experience self-esteem. As long as you're comparing yourself and wearing a mask, you cannot experience self-esteem. To experience self-esteem, you have to be where you are. And that's the whole trick. That it's so difficult to be where you are. And that's how it was for me. It was so difficult to be me where I was, right? So by learning to be me and act on it, I developed authenticity. I developed my character. I developed a sense of self that was not based on the shoots, but based on my own actions, my own reflections, my own inner power. So you have to let go of these shoots, focus here on you and focus on what you want to do now and act on that. What you want to say now and act on that. How you perceive the world and act according to that. If you think that what matters is to be with authentic people, then act on that. Try to find authentic people. If you think that money is not important, then let go. Live the life you want. You see? So following your own inner impulses will give you more self-esteem. It's about coming to a place where you act from yourself instead of acting from others' ideas. That's difficult. That's where the inner work lies, in order to deconstruct what other people told you, question it, and see that it might not be the best option for you. That's where the shadow work lies, that you have to sit with yourself and face what other people told you and actually question it. Is it actually good for my life? You see, that's when you will drop into self-esteem, because now you will be like, oh, but this might actually not be good. So what is good then? And then you will search it within yourself. So it will develop that self-esteem, because you're switching the focus. So that's where finding our center and acting from there is the most powerful thing. The day you're able to sit with yourself and being okay with who you are is the day you will have self-esteem. But that doesn't come in a day, it comes in the practice. It comes over time. So that's why the discipline with the practice is also very important. You are causing your own problem by rejecting parts of you. You're causing your own problem by pushing away things that are in you. When you stop doing that, you will naturally have self-esteem. When you stop fighting against yourself, you're only doing that to yourself. I'm not doing it to you. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I hope this was helpful. And if you're interested in my work, check the links in the description. Thank you very much. Goodbye.